So a lot has happened in between episode 7, which was the previous one, and episode 8, which is this one. So much so that I did a whole 3-hour live stream, which I ended up numbering 7.1. In case you haven't seen it, that's part of the playlist by now, so you can go check it out. And primarily what happened is, besides the fact that we just made it this whole thing and, a little bit more on this side, it just sort of went through one of the biggest change, which is I migrated everything into a new save game because I kind of screwed up the script settings, the city builder script settings when I started the project. And since those are kind of baked into the save game when you first start, there's really no way to change them after the fact. So if you were playing along, what I want to sort of mention again is that there's new instructions. There's a link in the description of pretty much every video that takes you to a Google Docs where there's a step-by-step guide on what you need to change or what you need to do if you want to play along. I was thinking of re-recording episode 1, but I don't think that makes a lot of sense right now. It's pretty much mostly everything is the same, but the city builder script needs some tweaking, and I think everything is much more clear now that there's a Google Docs that walks you through everything you need to change. And also there's a new scenario that you need to download in order to play along on this very exact same seed. If you want to play it on a totally different save game, also follow the instructions on that document. Furthermore, before we start this episode, I think we have a lot of engineering supplies here, and we're only delivering them to this clay pit, which is already gung-ho in terms of production. Except these two, these are the levels, by the way. Enhanced and gung-ho is like the highest sort of efficiency for these clay pits. So what I'm gonna do off camera is like re-change or rework this stop right here so that it does deliver the engineering supplies to these clay pits as well. So we're probably gonna add some additional roads here and there. And also I wanna tweak this craziness of fishing vessels and probably even tweak other things as well, because it's kind of ridiculous. They're super slow, they don't carry a lot of fish, and yeah, they're just, visually I thought it would look nicer than what they actually end up looking. So what I'm gonna do is work on this off camera, and then after the intro, I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so check this out. This is the brand new supply chain for engineering supplies. We added a couple more roads, and these are being delivered to these two clay pits, which are already in gung-ho state. By the way, this just means that it's like the highest sort of performance multiplier that you could have. I think it's like normal, enhanced, and gung-ho. Those are like the 3 steps. This one is also gung-ho as well. And while I was at it, I added a few more trains to this sort of clay loop. I always want a train sort of just loading at any given time just to improve the efficiency. But, and of course, by the way, we moved the fishing ships, so now there's a lot of fishing ships pretty much doing things around here. So yeah, why don't we focus on the point of this episode, which is the goods. Now, in terms of goods, we have a, what is it called? The metal workshop here, which produces goods, and it's the closest to capital city. So I think what we're gonna do this time around is connect this steel, make this a steel hub. We just happen to have 4 iron ore mines and a bunch more just around here, but primarily 4 that are like very close to this steel mill. And once we can produce steel, we can then send them to the goods hub, and the goods can be delivered to capital city. I'm not entirely sure we will be able to deliver all of that, or at least complete that network in this episode, but we're certainly going to try. And if not, I guess we'll take care of that in the next one. But why don't we start by making this a little more manageable and also visually appealing a little bit. I think this will be a good height to actually, by the way, I'm destroying all of the trees. I think this doesn't belong to any city, right? Yeah, all right, that's good. Whew, what a relief. Because otherwise we'll have to bribe a lot of people. Anyways, let's just do something like that. These two happen to be at the same level, so that's good. Why don't we first place a couple stations? I think we can do maybe 4x5 here. This will be the imports, and then we can just have like a 4 tile gap perhaps and do the exports. Why don't we actually label them real quick? So exports, this will be sending out steel, whereas this one will be importing all of the iron ore, the raw materials. So we have that in place. Let's get a couple more stations going in these 2 places. So something like that. I think this is where we want to keep our sort of our track. In fact, these will be all row stations. So let's just do something like this. I think at this point we'll have to like maybe bridge over, because or actually we can just tunnel under. That might be at least a little nicer looking. And we could just do something along these lines. Actually, this should not be connected to that, but instead should be connected to that one. And this one should also be connected to that one. Something like that. It's kind of unorthodox, I know, but I guess we can just, no, we can like literally do that. It might be easier. Now I'm not sure. I guess we can get rid of that and just straight up go to there. There we go. So there's a 1 tile gap here for signals. Now, what I wanted to do here is perhaps something like this so that we can potentially tunnel under. I think we need to go 1 tile further back, maybe raise this one up here, and that pretty much works out for us. And are we doing like, what are we even doing here? Let's do this. There we go, that's much better. So this is like a nice sort of rounded corner sort of situation. It's not symmetrical, but I kind of like it that way. And we can do that like so. And we might have a similar problem here once we exit out of this end of this station. Or we could just simply hook it up with this one. That actually would be perfect. Oh, I kind of like this valley as it is. Why don't we bridge over it? Let's make a nice little bridge here. Let's do 2 of them. What do they look like? Yeah, they look pretty good. I'll take that. So once we get to here, we could basically do something like this. It's kind of a little excessive in terms of double tracking, but I think it could work. I think here we're just gonna do that. So we have 1 tile here for 1 signal, another one here, and then everything else is just 1 giant large block. Eventually, if we're going to start delivering, what does this want? Engineering supplies. If you want to enhance the production of these, it might be easier to do it by truck. I don't even know where we're going to be getting engineering supplies from. I think this is farming supplies. This one produces engineering supplies. So I don't know, maybe a tiny train could work. That's definitely a problem for future Street Toaster, not me right now. Screw that guy. That's usually how it goes. Okay, so let's think about this. Because we also want these 2 to be connected. And by the way, I'm going to prettify these stations a little later. I don't think I need to worry about that at this point in time. Can I actually get this on the other side of the river? This river, it's kind of in the middle. It's kind of annoying, not gonna lie. Why don't we just do something like this? Might have to like do that even. And this could be, so the exit track could actually take place here perhaps. You know what, this river might have to go. It's kind of like too much. In fact, this could straight up just go like this. Oh, we need to go even one level up. So, maybe I deleted that river for no reason. Well, that sucks. We can just climb up here and let's see. Will this give us... by the way, someone in the comments in the previous video mentioned the fact that trains, as they're leaving the station, you know how we always have like 2 tiles so that trains don't slow down? Well, when trains are leaving the station, they're kind of not going super fast anyways. So, yeah, someone pointed out in the comments, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. Maybe I shouldn't. But, I mean, aesthetically, I kind of like 2 tiles as opposed to 1. So, unless it requires a lot of retrofitting to make things work, I'd rather stick to the simple, so the sort of the simple design of 2 tracks. I think it looks a little nicer. Over here, at some point, we're gonna have to climb up this hill. So I guess this is probably a good location to do so. And this is where the tracks are gonna sort of come in. And right here we can do 6, and perhaps here is where we sort of branch out around this place. And this is where we... I hate that we can't diagonally go places. I guess we might as well do this, right? I mean, that sort of works. So we have 1 tile here for signals, and definitely a lot of tiles there for signals, so that's good. We could refill this part that we sort of flatten out so that we can get my 2 tiles worth of turns. This one, actually, I'd rather be a little straight, except now we don't have any room for anything else, which is unfortunate. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to avoid a little bit, but I guess we have no choice here but to do that. Should be fine. I mean, it's not like the end of the world. It's honestly, at this point, it's mostly aesthetic, but I think that works. And we have like a nice little bridge over the river, so that's fine. Here instead, we're gonna need... Can we tunnel under? Could that be a thing? What if we do that? That might look better. Again, we still have this issue of like coming up and then immediately turning, which is really gonna slow things down, but I guess it is what it is. And here we just do that, and that kind of works. I wish that, you know what? Let's get rid of that real quick. How close can we get to this? You know what? Let's just, whatever. We have 23 million in the bank. It's time to go crazy here. Oh, I kind of want to keep like that water there. Hang on. Just so that there's like a little bit of a body of water. Make it a bit more interesting, you know? Over here, we just straight up bridge. It's a nice little concrete bridge, and then we tunnel under the river because, you know, that I know that exists in real life, but it's kind of mind-bending when you think about it. All right, so over here, so this is the entryway, which I'm glad that this one sort of turns a little early. So perhaps, I'm guessing this is going to come this way. You know what? Since we have this train sort of coming in from the other side, it might be best if these are somewhat split, so that we don't have here. Might make more sense once I actually built it. But if we perhaps do this, put a couple tunnels there. Let's leave a 1 tile difference. That way we can put signals in here. But that kind of works, I think. It's not like the most efficient, but it looks nice, which ultimately is what I want. So here, I guess we can just extend this by about that much. Now the exit, I guess in this case the exit is a little easier because we already have this track sort of coming in. So we can do something like that. pretty straightforward. And I'm trying to leave this entire gap here so that we can deal with our exports a bit more efficiently. That's not too bad. It's pretty compact. I like it. It's a bit of a few more turns that I wanted, but I mean, there's really no way around that anyways. All right, so another thing we're definitely gonna need, and it's probably gonna be a bit of an issue, is depots. So let's get a depot sort of branch out. I've been doing this in many places so that the whole point here is for trains to not occupy the main track when they're going into depots. So here, let's actually do that. So that's a little easier momentum wise. And here, 13, 14, this is like a perfect spot. So we can just put our depot in the middle. Great, so these two have their own sort of depots here. I could add more, honestly, but I think this works for now. There we go. So we have an extra depot in here. And finally, I guess we can add a few more on this side. So actually, you know what? Let's just start from here, because why not? So 13 is usually the length that I'm going for. We can do something like that, and we already have like the perfect slope over there. So that works out. And here, pretty much the same thing. We can just do 13. In this case, let's do like 15. Because this is where we're starting. So 13 is there. Great. So we have that in place, and I think the rest is probably fine. So the next thing will be signals. So let me add those signals off camera real quick, and then come back and show you what it looks like. All right, so check this out. I added all of the signals. I also fixed a few little things. I ended up removing this tunnel that we had here. I think this design is a little bit cleaner. Also, one of the train tracks was like basically reversed, so I actually fixed that. And yeah, everything else looks pretty good. So all that's left to do is put some trains in here and start getting some cargo delivered. Let's see, we should probably begin here. We're gonna need about 8 trains, so like maybe 2 per iron ore operation, and then we'll see how good or bad things are. Let's take a look at what we have, because it's been a while since I picked one of these locomotives, and it took us like a good, I don't know, 5 in-game years since we started this episode to get to where we are, so I'm guessing there's possibly more options. I'm sorting by running costs, so let's see. Ooh. Just got a new one, I think. What about this one? 48,000. I don't know how much money we're going to be making out of these. What do we have in other places? Because I recently upgraded the clay ones. Let's take a look. Tijuana clay. So here we're using the whatchamacallit. Let's go to total cargo. No, sorry, information. The EMD SW1500, which is this one actually, the one I have selected. And it seems to be pretty profitable. I mean, obviously this one is, you know, there's a turnaround is pretty quick because we're getting a lot of clay on this line. But you know what, let's just go with this one. It's still relatively cheap to run. Let's compare to this one. Yeah, this one's a little cheaper, but it doesn't have much pulling power. So, and the cost is really not that big of a deal. So let's just pick that, and we're gonna need some iron ore. This is goods. Let's sort by a running cost. So supplies, blah, blah, blah. I think this one, large hopper, you know, it's a bit more capacity, and price-wise is this one is even more expensive, which is interesting. But you know what, let's just go with this one. I mean, visually this one would probably be best, but let's just let's go by cost here. So we're gonna need 5 tiles, and then why don't we get a caboose as well? Apparently this fixes the, or at least reduces the amount of breakdowns. That's what I've been told. I am not sure that is the case, but we're gonna refit the train, and let's actually pin this window here, clean everything else up, and this will be freight, and we are next to Vienna. So this will be Vienna iron ore. Click OK, and then we have on group trains. Let's put it on Vienna iron ore. I want to bring the volume down because those trains are loud. Oh, I didn't put the orders on these. That's okay, no worries. So first you're gonna go here, do a full load, and then you're gonna go here. So now we have 2 trains. Let's clone this again. This one, it's going to go, instead of going there, you're gonna go here and do a full load. And everything else is the same. And hold control to clone. So now we have shared orders. Let's set those in place. And now we're gonna go to this depot, clone this train, and get rid of that. Do a full load here. And hold control and clone the train. Off they go. Let's clone this once again and replace the orders. Now you're gonna go do a full load there and hold control for shared orders and set them off. Let's get rid of that window. And there they go. So let's take a quick look, see if the length is good. It appears to be okay. So now this one's gonna start producing iron ore. I hope this one, yeah, this one's gonna fully load, which is good. Also, what's happening here? Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, the orders in this one's were a little here. Can we actually make it so that nope, turn around and skip the signal perhaps, and then skip another signal, and then skip another signal. And hopefully by the time this train turns around, if we don't, nope, once more. There we go. Now you should be able to go to, well, actually I want you to go to here, to the Lyon Ironstone. God dang it, why are you not going where I want you to go? You're supposed to take this. Did I put the signals wrong? Although the signals look right. Let's get rid of this implicit order. I know I can send them to go non-stop, so, you know, to avoid this, but I don't know. I don't think it's necessary. This should sort of work itself out. Let's speed things up real quick just to see what happens. So this one's going to come in here, which is what we want. And now this one is going down here. Well, that was more complicated than I wanted to. Also, by the way, I spent some time off camera as well, like reducing the amount of ships that we had here waiting for fish. It was I was just losing so much money on almost all of these. And then one of the main things is that these are like really slow, like 31 kilometers an hour is slow. So I'm thinking, since we're in 1975 now, we could start using some of the super fast ones. Oh, we have some old vehicles here. Yeah, we're gonna need to start replacing them. You know what? Let's replace a few of these real quick. Which are the SLC2 Hamburg? Let's replace these guys with the hovercraft. I think might be best. Oh, we have some interesting ships here. Let's take a look. This one, Zaquabs Hydrofoil. What's the speed difference? This one is 112. This one is 91. This one is 64. And in terms of running costs, this one is the most expensive one. So yeah, I kind of want to start using this one just for aesthetics. I wouldn't necessarily, we can afford all of them, honestly, but I think this one will be best. So those are replaced. And Tijuana Fish, I think we can finally replace these with the Porcupine at 3, which carries significantly less fish, but it's so much faster, 74 kilometers versus 32. So I think that would be a good strategy. Eventually, we could just add a few more of these ships so that things work out a little faster. And it seems like we have a whole bunch of old vehicles all over the place, which is probably not great. This one is almost full. Actually, you know what? Let's just follow this one. This is at full load. So in terms of vehicles, let's quickly take a look. Yeah, we have some amount of old vehicles like these ones. Yeah, we'll have to start replacing those. I'll probably do that off camera. I don't think it's like the most fun thing to do that on camera. Actually, you can just let me know in the comments. Would you be interested in seeing this a couple of times? Maybe not every time I need to upgrade trains, but like maybe this whole process is something that you might be interested in seeing on camera. But I think, yeah, this episode is getting a bit on the longer side of things. I should probably wrap it up. If you enjoyed it, please consider giving this video a like and share it with anyone you might think might enjoy this OpenTTD series. And if you're new to the channel and haven't done this already, make sure you're subscribed and turn on notifications. That way you get notified. Stay tuned for more. We might do another live stream soon, but that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next one.